Hey everyone, it's another video and I'll be sincere with you. For this video, I know you know the title, you see the title. For now, I really don't know what the title is gonna be, but I'm just gonna be explaining shell scripting. Yeah, I'm gonna be explaining shell scripting, possibly with ChatGPT. Yeah, I'm just gonna take you through my whole process of learning shell scripting and why I think nowadays if you have very solid knowledge of programming, you can easily dive into any programming language with the invention with AI today. You really don't need to start reading too much books also. Yeah, as long as you have core understanding of programming, how loops, you have core understanding of programming, how loops work, how variables are assigned and all. Like you should be good to go, yeah. So for shell scripting, we're all conversant with shell commands. Those commands we run in our terminal. And definitely terminal comes with almost all operating systems these days. So those commands you run in your terminal, for example, you're navigating into a folder, you're opening a file, you are creating a file and all those kind of folders. And then shell scripting is like you putting together a series of commands into a file, which we refer to as a shell, and then executing that file. So that means you're executing the file, which is executing so many lines, so many series of commands, and this helps in automation, right? You could also and understanding that shell scripting is like a programming language, so like it's a programming language, yeah. So you could create conditions, you could pass in variables, you could do all those manipulations you do with your regular programming languages. And then if you're conversant with, if you have installed a package or try to scaffold maybe a React JS application or any of all these JavaScript frameworks, you remember you notice how when you're scaffolding them, you are being asked questions like for example, if you're using Vite, it like says if you want to use React, Vue, and then you get to select. So all those things come from like your shell script, so you can set all those conditions and yeah, add stylings and oh yeah. So let's get started. So I'm going to navigate into a folder. So these are just basic shell commands, right? Which we are all conversant with. I'm going to create a folder and say, um, here, and navigate into the folder. And yeah, let me create a file. I'm just go. So when you're creating shell scripts, you create a file with a .sh extension. So just like the way with your HTML, you have the .html extension, .css, even your doc, you have the .doc. Yeah, so for shell scripts, it's .sh. So I'm going to just create a script.sh file. So this is like our shell script. Yeah, and if you do ls, you see that the file is there. I'm gonna open this in my code editor. Yep, I'm gonna just fit this to the screen, and we can leave the terminal now and work here. I'm gonna increase the font. Okay, cool. So we have our first shell script. Our first shell file. Let me open the terminal and clear. Yep. So we have a shell script, and basically the first thing you will write for your shell script basically is always like describing. I think they call this shebang or yeah something like that. So normally I would like to like okay bring in ChatGPT to one corner of the screen So we can ask basic questions. So say I put ChatGPT somewhere here. Just make it very small, right? I don't know why this is like this. Yep. So this is the goal. This is the goal. And then we can ask questions to understand certain things. So it can be like, so my knowledge of this is that it's used to like specify or what is used to run the scripts. So I know there is bash, there is ZSH and other shells. So but let's just ask GPT. So yeah. So it specifies the interpreter. So that means if we specify bash, terms are like, yeah, bash is going to be used to interpret our shell scripts and all and all and all. So yeah, you always add this at the top of your shell scripts. Yeah, if you're gonna make use of bash, I think if you're gonna make use of ZSH, there are other like syntax. Yeah. And the first thing you would try to understand for every programming language is okay. So the first thing, let's try and like put out something. So when you run the file, when you run if you this is yeah, we can read this here. Yeah. So to make this file executable, okay, so first to echo out something, if you're conversant with PHP, you know the echo, so you can be like echo let's just say I wanna echo hello world. Yeah, this is like the first thing most times we do. Yeah, for every new programming language. So let's echo hello world. Now, we can run this file, right? We can run this file. So when we just come to our terminal and we're in the root directory, we can be like scripts .sh and yeah, but now it's telling us that permission denied because for every script file you need to make it executable, right? You need to make it executable, and for that you make use of the change mode, yeah, change mode command. It's chmod. I really don't know what this plus x does, but then you add like the parts to the, so this is just script.sh. Yep. Once you run this command, yeah, and now we can now execute the file again, and it's gonna tell us hello world. So just bear this in mind that you use this change mode .x to make a file, a script file executable, and yeah, now we are able to like start running commands. So this is just a very basic command. There are a lot of more commands you can actually do with your in your shell script. So first one, let's just do something basic. So let's just say wanna say echo. Let's say want to read values that somebody types from the terminal, just the same way you yeah. So let's just say want to say echo. What is your name? And then we can be like read name. So name, and then we can be like echo name. So this name is gonna be like a variable from here, and then when we run the file again, it's gonna ask me what is your name, and it's expecting a response from me. If I say draw, and then it's gonna tell me hello draw. It's going to tell me hello draw. So yeah, it takes an input from the user. Yeah, it takes an input from the user. So variables, we can declare variables. So let me delete all of this, and then we can declare variables. We can be like greeting, and yeah, we can just say welcome, and then if we echo greeting, so yeah, it's gonna be like replace this with the value of the variable, which is welcome, and it's like welcome, thanks for joining, right? So if we run the file again, it's gonna tell us welcome, thanks for joining. So yeah, this is how we this is how we store values to variables, and this is how we make use of variables. This is how we make use of variables. Yeah. I thought to show you that briefly. Now, one thing I'm gonna show you briefly next is making use of loops, and shell scripts. Yeah, making use of loops. So let's say yeah, no, before loops, let's work with conditions. Yeah, the if else statement. So you'd have made, if you are conversant with programming, you'd have made use of if else in any other programming language. So let's just say something like I want to get a number from the user. So let's just say enter a number. I want to get a number, right? Enter a number, and then we can be like read num, yeah. So whatever is being entered, we're gonna read it, and now we can now create a condition and say if the number is greater than 10. So now GT means G stands for greater and T stands for than. Yeah, it's greater than. So if we want to say less than, we use LT. So if it is less than, yeah. So that is how shell scripts work. So let's just say if it's greater than 10, then so you can see the syntax. Yeah, it will be like echo the number is greater than 10, and else is gonna be like the number is less than 10. And then yeah, we end the if statement. So it's just the opposite. We have if here, and then we have fi here. So that is how to write a condition, and then we can append like more conditions. So if we want like else if and all, but yeah, we're gonna see that. So let's run this. And then it's going to ask us to enter a number. So if I enter 7 and I press enter, it's going to tell me that. So here it's telling me num not found, but yeah, then it's showing that the number is less than 10. It's showing that the number is less than 10. I really don't know why it's saying that this, yeah. I really don't know why it's saying this. But one way to, we can just paste this code to ChatGPT and give it the error. Yeah, we can just paste, copy all of this, um, and give it to ChatGPT and see what it's gonna tell us. So it says the issue with the syntax. Okay. So I never knew this was a thing. So I think we need like spacing around here. Yeah, we need spacing, and then norm. This is a variable, so we need to get it like this, right? Yeah, and let's clear and run again. And then if we press 7, it's gonna tell us the number is less than 10. So I think we have to always bear in mind. So number one, the spacing around the brackets, and then quoting the variables. What else? Statement wording. Yeah, I think we're correct on that one, right? Yeah. So this is how to use conditionals in your shell scripts. Another thing I will touch on is loops. Yeah, repeating commands, because you would actually do these things. The way in other programming languages we have different types of loop. We have the for loop and all. So let me just show you for loop. Yeah, so let's say we want to repeat numbers. What's the best way I could do this? So let's just say, okay, for I, very similar. Yeah, for I. I really don't know how this syntax work. So let me copy and see what it's gonna tell me to do. Okay, do earlier. Okay, yeah. This is, but I really don't know what this means. But normally, what I was gonna do is to list the numbers. I was gonna like list 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like this. Yeah. And if I was gonna do it like this and I run the code, it's gonna tell me hello one, hello two, hello three, hello four, hello five. And when we reach five, it's gonna like end the whole loop, the whole loop thing. But with the former command I saw, that looks slick, right? And let me run the command. Oh wow, this is really chill. Oh, for real, for real. This is chill. And I need to understand this code. How does the brackets work? Okay, it says the curly braces creates a sequence of numbers from 1 to 10. So you have the start and the end with two dots in between, and it generates a sequence of numbers or letters between the start and end, which is inclusive. That's chill, right? That's chill. So it's cool to know that. And I see that we could also, for example, we could add step. So if we want this to count even numbers, oh no, that would be one, three. Yeah, that would be odd numbers. So let me run the command. No, it's not doing what I think it should do. So I was thinking it was gonna do hello one, hello three, hello five, hello seven, hello nine, but it is not doing that, right? It is not doing that here. But yeah, I really don't know why it's not doing it, but let me be sure I really don't have an error from my own side. I'm just gonna copy this and paste it here and save and run. Okay, it's not from my end, yeah. But yeah, we can also do the reverse. The reverse, that's negative values. So coming from 10 to 1, and you run the command, and yeah, you have 10 to 1. So yeah, this is a loop with shell scripts. Now all of this may not really make sense now, but when you start using it, all it begins to make a lot of sense, right? Yeah. So if we're going to put everything that we have, all the commands together to make sense, okay, so one thing I'm going to show you is um for example, if I want to output my current directory, so normally I think you go to when you go to your terminal, if you type something like pwd, it's gonna tell you your current directory, like the location, right? So we can also do that in, remember we said that a shell script is like it's a collection of like shell commands, right? So it's like we're writing shell commands, because basically I think we can run something like this in here and it's gonna work, right? Yeah. So it's like putting a lot of commands together in a file. So I'm just okay. I have one code here, and I'm just gonna put it here. Yeah. So just basic, just a normal. Basically, it's telling us, it's echoing enter your name. We type a name, and then it's gonna put the name as a variable here, and then it's gonna say this, and then it's gonna tell us our current directory using this pwd, and it's like adding it in the string this way. Then we are also gonna use the ls to, like, the ls is like a normal shell command that you can use to list out files within a location. Yeah, so we're just gonna run that here, and then yeah, which file would you like to view? So if we type a file, we're gonna like output the content of the file using the cat command. I'm very sure, I don't know if you conversant with the cat command, but yeah, the cat command is a regular command, so you can use the cat command to view the scripts .sh file, and it's going to tell us everything that is within the script.sh file, right? Yeah. So now back here, so that's all, and this is like an if statement here, remember? So let me clear and run the file again. So first thing, enter your name. I'm just gonna put Joel, and it's gonna be like, "Hello, Joel. Let me show you some cool things you're currently in," and it tells me my location. Here are the files in your folder, script.sh. Which file would you like to view? So, for example, if there are a lot of files, it was so now it's gonna take a value. So there's a script.sh, and it's gonna read. Okay, oh, it read the old code. So yeah, I type in the value and it's reading the old code, right? Yeah. Here is the content of script.sh. So it's taking the file name. Here's the content of the file name, and yeah, it's giving us the old content. And if I had put a file name that does not even like, sorry, this file name does not exist, which is cool, right? Now, all of this may not really make sense to you, but I think it will make sense to people who are really anxious to like want to use shell script for something, something, something. So, one thing I really want to do is to interact with APIs, right? And I'm sure you're very conversant with the JSON placeholder API endpoint. Now, let me do that here. So JSON placeholder. Yeah, here, this endpoint should be able to drag this here. And yeah, it's like mock data. It provides us with some data. For example, I can see 10 users, yeah, like JSON. I can see 100 posts. Now, and I don't know if you've used call command the call command line to which is to make requests to a URL. Just like the way in JavaScript you make use of fetch API, you can make use of Axios to make API calls. So in your command line you can also make API calls. You can also like see content of a live website using the call endpoint. Sorry, the call making by making a call request. For example, if you go to your terminal, you can be like, see, call yeah. So I'm just gonna put the x the dot the s flag. I think it does something. I know I think it prevents unnecessary output like progress bar showing only data returned by the API. Yeah, so let's just leave that there. Then I'm gonna take this URL and paste it here. And when I run this, it's gonna give me JSON of like all these to dos from here, right? So now we want to kind of do sort of a manipulation using shell script. So for example, if we want to output just the last 10 datas, so I'm gonna delete all that we have currently. Yeah, I'm going to delete all that we have currently. So let's just say you're somebody that has access to maybe an API infrastructure for like a news website, maybe the BBC news, and you want to like extract the last 10 data by just running a command, and you just want like you want all those information. Yeah, we can just do something like this. Yeah. Okay, let's do something like this. I think I can close this up. Can do something like this and be like, okay, so this is just for interactivity to like make yeah, user experience and all. So I'm like fetching latest news, and then this is the link to the site. And now what JQ and R is doing is extracting and formatting the titles for display. So basically it's formatting it, and here we are like, oh, just give me 10 data, and yeah, we're looping. Basically this is a lot of things happening here. And why do we have the plenty slash? But like, yeah, let's run this first before we try to understand what is happening there. Yeah, so it started by saying fetching the latest news, and it's fetched 10 titles. These are only the titles. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And 10, yeah, fetched 10 titles. So I'm just gonna take this and say, how do I look it? Okay. Yeah, so it's telling us, yeah, definitely call is a command line tool for making HTTP request. Then this is the API endpoint. Then S is for silent mode. Yeah, and okay, so these are pipe operators. Okay, so these are pipe operators, and basically JQ is used to process JSON data. Yeah, and then so basically we're just processing. So this is selecting the first 10 elements of the JSON array, right? And then this the dots is looping through the array, and then we are fetching the title. Yeah, so that is that. Now understanding that you can actually make API calls really puts you at a lot of a lot of advantage. So I'm going to bring up I'm going to show you something. Going to show you something like a real use case in which I made use of shell scripting to interact with like a standard API, and I think I have an article on it coming up pretty soon. So I'm gonna just copy this. So I work for Kingstar, and Kingstar has a very nice API which I love so much. And this is, the way you have your user interface. We have a very dope user interface that makes it easy for people to interact with their websites, applications, and all. So same thing. We also have an application API, an API that makes people to interact with their services programmatically, right? So basically, you can do a lot of things via the API. You can create a site, you can view a list of sites, you can do a lot of things. And then I thought some clients may actually really want to use shell scripts to do certain things, right? For example, we have backups. So, for example, if I just want to run a command that spins up backup for hundreds of sites without having to like do so many clicks and all, or if I want to update plugins, yeah, so all of this. Now this is the automation. This is a an aspect of automation in which shell scripts can offer you, right? Can offer you, and this is this is of much advantage to people in the DevOps space, right? Now I'm going to pull up a code. I'm going to pull up a code for you to see. Yep. So this is like the code I wrote. I'm gonna increase the font. So it's just basic, yeah. And I'm going to explain it in details for you, since you understand basics of shell scripting now. And yeah, this is now the first thing is I'm loading an environment variable. Now we were able to work with we're able to work with this endpoints because there is no API key, right? So everybody has easy access to this endpoint. But for like something like Kingstar, there is an API key. And now there are different ways to load up API keys to your shell scripts, right? And one way I think that makes sense is for you to have like an environment variable. So the .env file, the regular .env files that you have for your projects, and then you create a .gitignore and then like exempt it, so that when you push to like a public repository or push to like a version control, your environment variables are not exposed to hackers and all, which can be very risky. For example, if you are handling sensitive data, like handling websites is a lot sensitive, yeah. So you don't want somebody coming to install malicious plugins on your site, and because they have access to your API key. So you store your API key in an environment variable, and then your shell script for you to make use of that environment variable. So this is just a very simple. So we are loading the environment variable now because it's in the root folder. So we just put the .env. So if it was like in folder, you have to like put the file path here, and then you're able to load the environment variable. And then so I can show I created a variable API key, and then I created a variable API key, and then we can now access API key as a variable in this file because we have loaded the environment variables into this file, right? So we can load files, we can load like details from other files into, so not just environment variables, other files. So just like we are loading the .env file into this script.sh file, and then this is just a condition, just like we've seen just recently. So you'll be seeing a lot of flags, and this is why we have ChatGPT here. Now we have to understand what does, so we understand every other thing here. Basically, this is a condition, and then we are just like checking. So we're checking if there is an API key, and if there is no API, if there is if there is, okay, let's just tell. So basically, I think the Z flag evaluates true if a string is empty. So yeah, so then this makes a lot of sense. So what this condition is doing is checking the API key to see if it is empty or if it has a value, and that is like what this Z flag is doing. So it's checking this variable. If it is empty, that is, it returns true if the string is empty, right? So if it returns true, that means if the string is empty, then it's gonna do all of these things here, right? But if it returns false, that means it's just gonna skip all of this and move on, right? So if it returns true, it's gonna be like, oh, API key environment is not set, export your keys, and then exit means we're exiting from the old script so that nothing continues, you understand? So that exit one means, oh, come on, the whole script is like there's no need to continue. So yeah, that's what we are doing here. We're just, because the API key is very fundamental to actually perform any other function, right? So that is what, and I want you to make sure you are aware of this, that this Z flag is like, it returns true if a variable value is empty. Yeah. Now the next thing we did was to declare the API endpoint. Now this is very important because so as not to be doing this so many times, you can actually add this to your environment variable. Yeah, but I decided to put it here. So we're just declaring the variable like we saw, and we're also making a condition to check if this is actually declared, else yeah, we exit also here. And now here in this video I did some sort of modification to my code to ensure reusability and to make sure I'm writing clean codes. So I created functions, and I discovered that is something I had not explained in the earlier on. So you can actually create functions. You can create functions. So you can create a function. So just very similar to, I think this is wrong. You don't need to explicitly say function. So we can create a get news function, remove this from here. Now, since it's inside the function, if we run the command, it's not going to do anything because we have not called the function. So we need to call the function. Now, call the function, yeah, so you just call the name of the function, and this way the function will run, and then you see it's able to fetch all the posts. So yeah, that is, so basically we are planning to do a lot of things. We're planning to get site lists using this yeah, so get list of company sites, making use of this endpoint which accepts the company ID to get a list of all sites in your account. And that is like what this is doing. So it's modifying the API URL, so taking the base URL, which is this, and slash sites, then passing in the company ID, very similar to what we see here. Yeah, and it's passing in that. and then we're just doing normal user experience things. And then yeah, this is a call command. Yeah. So just like we did earlier. So this is a get request. So you have to specify that. Then the API URL which we have here, and then doing the whole authorization just like we have it here. And then passing the API key, the content type, blah blah blah. And then we are storing the response to a variable, and then we are checking if the response is empty so that we can exit. If it is not empty, we are returning. Now we're creating another command here which takes this response. Now you see here it is calling this function get site list, and then it's checking to be sure it is not empty. Now if it is not empty, now look at this formatted response. So just like the way if you have interacted with some shell, so it's going to be like company site, it's going to put line, and then the response from the API. So using the JQ blah blah blah, we're like looping through the array and then getting the display name, the name, the status of the site. Yeah, and then it's gonna output that. It's gonna output that, right? It's gonna output that. Now, one thing I'm gonna show you is now basically we should just run this function, right? But like down here, we have like a logic so that we don't need to remember function name, so that we can assign. For example, here we have like list. So if I call list, it's gonna run the list site function, which is this function here that is interacting with the get site list function to give us our data, right? To give us our data. So that is what we are doing here. So it's just a if statement. So we really don't need all this else if. Yeah, if you remove all of this, this is what it will just look like, right? This is what it will, and you can also even remove the else and just have it this way, and now when we come to the terminal and just put the file path. So okay, so the file path is scripts.sh, and then we the command is list, and we run it. It's going to give us the list of the sites. So just like we formatted it there. So basically this is how we want it. We want the display name. This is the display name. Then in brackets, so the name, and then a line, then status, then the status value, getting everything from the API. So if you look at this data here, so you can see the status here, you can see the display name, and you can see the name, and that is just what we are outputting here. Now this is just a very basic command, and there are lots of other commands, but like yeah, I'm just doing a very basic video explaining shell scripting, and I don't want this video to be too long. But one other thing I'm gonna show you is what I did for backups. Yeah, what I did for backups, and it's something very very interesting. Now what I've not explained, okay, we try to explain that a little bit, passing in values from the terminal, right? So yeah, for example, now I showed you how to like write a command here, and then we have like list. So for example, what if I want to pass in a values? For example, if I type ABC and I want it to take this ABC and use it to like perform something. So that is basically what we are trying to do for backup. So for backup, we're trying to like take the site name. So I want you to be able to run a command such as something like backup, and write the name of the site. For example, let's say first site. And then it is now a lot of things are going to happen behind the scene. And this is where the automation comes in. A lot of things are going to, so it's going to take the site name, and then remember that this function here, the get site list, is looping through, it is getting an array of all the sites. So now this first site that I am passing is going to take this name. Now it's going to take it into this function and do so it's going to make use of this function, get a list of all the sites and filter based on this name and see if this name exists among the array. Now get that object from the array. Now that object is going to include the site ID. It's going to now use that site ID to perform another function. Now let's follow through the backup. So basically, site name is getting now this. Now let me could do Control Z of like what we deleted here. Now I want you to look at this if here. So basically, H1 is so now it is taking in a variable. It's taking in a variable. So H1 is like the name of the command, and H2 is like the variable that it is taking in. And then it is now going to run this function. It's going to run this function. Now, the value that is taken in from the command is going to store it in a variable. And then we're also like storing a tag for backup. So we're like checking if the name is empty, the site name. Yeah. Else, if it's not empty, now we're now going to run a function with a site name to get a site. Now, when we get a site, we're now going to run other functions. But what I really want to show you is here, this if statement where we are checking. So Kinstar has this policy of you can only create 5 manual backups, right? You can only create 5 and now we're having a if statement here that is going to check if it is greater than or equal to 5. Now, if it is greater than or equal to 5, so basically what we are doing here is we're running a command. So we're going to confirm from the users, like it's going to tell them what the oldest backup is and if they really want to delete that backup. Now if you look at this if statement, we have a confirm. So we're trying to like get a value from, so remember this is the read. So remember how we add the read and we're like they could pass in name, right? So yeah, we're going to like ask them for something and then whatever value they put here, so if they type in a yes or a no, then we'll be able to like perform all of this and yeah, delete. Or if they don't, if they type in a yes, we're just gonna abort the old thing. And yeah, so this just I'm just like showing you what is possible with shell scripting. This is a very weird video, and yeah, I'm just gonna put out the video. I really don't know if it explained anything, but yeah, I showed you basics of shell scripting. I don't want the video to be too long. I showed you basics of shell scripting, and I've showed you what is also possible with shell scripting and how you can like manipulate APIs with shell scripting. Yeah, with shell scripts, not shell scripting, with shell scripts. Yeah, and that's just all in this video. So I think I would have loved to like show you the oh my god, I'm deleting my code. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So I would have loved to show you this backup in action, right? So the command is backup and you can pass in a site. So I'm gonna just pull up something for you to see. Okay, I'm gonna pull up something for you to see. Uh Okay, so I just wanted to show you the site. So remember it showed you one site then. So this is the site and then the backup. So basically we have manual backups and there is no backup. There is no backup, right? So I remember the name of the site is Duke Test, right? So yeah, we can just run backup for Duke Test. And when you run the command, It's a very interactive command. So it's gonna do a lot of things in the background. So basically, it has gone to like filter through the list of all the sites and come to give us the environments we have in the site. So we have a live and staging environment. Remember when I went to WordPress site, we see we have live and staging environment, and it's giving us the environment ID of like. So if so, it's asking me to enter an environment. So I think we can follow through from the code here. I would also like to follow through from the code so you see what is responsible for everything that is happening. So yeah, we're triggering a backup and we are currently here. So it's telling us available environment for the name of the site, and then it's echoing the environments based on how it is formatted here, which is the name and the ID. And then here the read is telling us to enter the environment, staging on live. What do we want? So yeah, we want live. I want live. And then yeah, after we pass in the environment, so the next thing is it's gonna ask us for the name of our backup, the name we want to tag our backup. Now, what has happened here is it has run through this if statement, and so it has checked if for the number of backups we have, and you notice that we don't even have up to 5 backups. So it's gonna skip all of this, and it's just gonna come here and tell us to enter a backup tag. So if we don't enter anything, it's just gonna make use of the default backup tag. Yeah, and I just want that. And yeah, it's going to use the API endpoints to trigger a backup, and that is all. Now, when we come back to our site and we'll go to backups, remember there was no backup before. When we go here, we're going to see a backup. Yeah, it's a very chill process, very easy, and you can automate a lot of things. You can do this for hundreds of sites, just depends on how you write your code, which is very, very chill. And yeah, that's all for this tutorial. I don't want to make it excessively long, but yeah, it's just me doing my thing and putting it on my channel and hoping somebody likes it. Yeah, bye.